this might be a bit of a long one, but I'm so happy you're here.
Morning! We are officially a week into February, which means it's time for a January recap. I hope that I can do this kind of video like at the end of every month because I really want to see how my year has changed by the time we get to December. I have my notes, my tea, so grab your own and let's get started. I can't believe it's already February. I felt like January came and went so fast. January was a really interesting month for me because I did not do any goal setting at the beginning of January, which is unusual for me. Usually at the start of the year, I'll vision board and I would mind map something, to sort of set my intentions for the year moving forward. I usually do this kind of goal setting with my friend, but I don't know why, no matter how many times we said that we were like, okay, let's do it, let's set a date, it just never came to fruition. And now I'm thinking maybe it was meant to be. I don't know, I felt incredibly free this month without my goal setting. This time round, I was okay with taking things a lot slower than I usually do. And the beginning of the month, this was something that really scared me and put a lot of fear into me, and I kind of beat myself up over it. The fact that I just couldn't sit down and set what my intentions for the year were because I was just so not in the right mental space. But over time, I don't know, I enjoyed that I didn't have anything to work towards in a way. I'm a very goal-oriented person, and I always have something that I'm striving towards. And so if I don't have a purpose, it's very hard for me to feel useful or feel valued or feel my worth in a way. And so I always have a goal, but this time that wasn't the case. I think because I wasn't actively working towards something, I learned to listen to myself better, and I was more in tune with myself this month. I think it just allowed me to really listen to my own needs, what I really want to do, how I'm really feeling, because I wasn't being distracted with the goal that I was actively trying to pursue. A lot of the things that I did were very internal and not an external goal that I was trying to achieve. It really reminded me of this book that I read a while ago called The Heroine's Journey. I'm a script writer, and I actually use it as a writing tool. You would usually have The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell, but it's more catered towards writing male protagonists. And so Maureen Murdoch came out with something called The Heroine's Journey, which is something that's more catered towards a female protagonist. And so I would usually only use this to write female protagonists, but a colleague and a dear friend of mine actually lent me her book, Maureen Murdoch's book on the heroine's journey, and I decided to have a read, initially to expand my use of the heroine's journey and make my writing better. But upon reading it, I felt so understood. What Maureen Murdoch basically discusses in the book is that the hero's journey is usually an external goal where the hero has to venture into the unknown, slay the dragons, and the end goal is also external. It's to get the girl, it's to save the world, etc., etc. Whereas the heroine's journey is actually a more internal journey, struggle, and achievement. In the heroine's journey, instead of venturing into the unknown, the beginning of the heroine's journey is a separation from the feminine, and this is usually where we would define ourselves with external goals, because we live in a patriarchal society, and so we're naturally taught that our goals need to be sort of like similar in order to define what success or being content means to us. And upon reading that book, I had such whiplash. I just felt like it described me so much, and how all of my goals have been so external. But lately I found that being successful is different from being content, and my external goals may have been driving me towards success, but it was definitely not driving me towards being content. And so I really recommend reading this book to anyone who may be struggling with the same kind of thing. It's really enlightening. I'm not even done with the book yet, but it's already just allowed me to reflect a lot. I feel like these lessons keep coming back to me because at the end of this month I had to make a really tough decision, and that decision actually was maybe not so big, but it felt like a really huge burden to me because it was picking myself or picking to take care of other people's emotions and feelings and things like that. And I feel like I always struggle with that dilemma. I'm someone who always puts others first and seldom choose myself. And this month, because of all the mental exhaustion that I was going through, I truly felt that it was so difficult to put others first this time. I had been feeling so guilty over that decision. I felt like maybe choosing myself would have made me a bad person, and I felt a lot of guilt around it. I also felt a lot of selfishness, and a word that kept cropping up was cowardice. I felt like I lacked the courage to be brave enough to put myself aside in order to ease others. And then I had a chat with a friend whom I love so dearly. And I told her everything that I felt, and she ended up telling me that maybe I'm the one who needs to redefine what courage means in this situation. As someone who usually places others before myself, perhaps the more courageous thing to do, and what I was really afraid of doing, was putting myself first and telling someone that I need to put myself first even though it would hurt their feelings or, cause frustration to them. And when she told me that, I just broke down in her car because I felt like I have been waiting to hear those words, that it is courageous to put myself first, and maybe it's not so courageous to suppress myself. So yeah, it all just came back to me feeling like this month was the beginning of my heroine's journey, if I could say that. I think to sum my reflection for January up, I want to read an excerpt from my journal. In January, I felt that the universe took care of me. I was not in control this month, not of my outcomes, achievements, nor my discoveries. And still, with all my lost wandering, I found something. I don't know, I just feel like maybe as someone who naturally relies on themselves, I really felt, or it came clear to me in this month, that I don't always have to have it figured out, because I trust that someone is always taking care of me, whether it's my friends or my family or the universe. To end the video, I thought that I would also do a what I'm looking forward to for the next month in February. In January, I had really made a return to my hobbies because I could finally crack out time for it now, and I started junk journaling. Junk journaling has such a dear place in my heart. I literally tried putting everyone I know on junk journaling because it ended up being so much more therapeutic than I thought it would be. I'm a huge collector of junk and like receipts or little knickknacks that I ended up like collecting, even business cards. I just can't seem to throw it away because I get so sentimental to the place that I've collected it from. And so I finally decided to start a junk journal and put everything that I've collected from way back when into here so that I finally give it purpose. So far it's been mainly like where I've traveled to and what I've experienced, but I'm excited to put more things in here to really document even my most mundane days in this book, and I can't wait to like flip through it by the end of like when I'm done with it. Another thing that I'm trying to start in February is The Artist's Way. A friend of mine had told me about it after we were talking about how much of a creative rut we've been in because we had a huge reality check into the industry that we were stepping in, and it kind of dimmed our creativity and our purpose within our passion. And so she recommended that we do The Artist's Way together. So I bought this journal from Muji to start journaling in it, and I'm kind of excited. I don't really keep like a handwritten journal anymore. Anything that I journal is either on my junk journal or I do it digitally. So I'm excited to actually get back into writing things again. I feel like, yeah, as a writer, I've fallen so far from like writing things by hand, and I'm just really excited to get back into it. Yeah, so that basically wraps up January for me. I really hope that the next month brings happiness and joy and new discoveries for us all.